Hi LEGO fans! With the upcoming release of Marvel's Avengers Infinity War movie scheduled for late April, LEGO has gone just a little bit Avengers crazy. They've just released 7 brand new Avengers sets plus a polybag. I just reviewed the awesome Hulkbuster Ultron Edition with 1,363 pieces, and now it's time to take a look at its baby brother. So today I'm going to unbox, speed build, and review set number 76104, the Hulkbuster Smash-Up from LEGO Marvel Superheroes. Retailing for about $30, this is $90 cheaper than the Ultron Edition. It's got a 375 piece part count and includes 4 minifigures. We've got the physicist and Hulk alter ego Bruce Banner, Falcon, Proxima Midnight, and an Outrider. Turning to the back of the box, we get a much clearer picture of what's inside. As well as the 4 minifigures, we've got a 5-inch tall Hulkbuster mech. There's also a gun turret which conceals one of 6 Infinity Stones. Yes, each one of these sets contains a different Infinity Stone, and if you want all 6, you've got to buy all 6 sets. As you'd expect, Falcon comes with his own pair of buildable wings. There are a few interactive play features in this set, including a hidden compartment for the Infinity Stone, a very cool ball shooter which you don't see in LEGO sets very often, and the Hulkbuster opens up so Bruce Banner can get inside and control it. The Hulkbuster of course is usually operated by Iron Man, but it was developed in partnership with Bruce Banner, and it kind of makes sense that he knows how to work it as well. So we've definitely got a very interesting set, and it looks like it's going to be reasonably good value for money with those 4 minifigures. I'm also really curious to see how this is going to look stood next to the Ultron Edition Hulkbuster. But first things first, let's get this box open and see what we've got inside. Here's everything that came inside the box. We've got 4 numbered bags of LEGO, an 83-page instruction booklet, and entirely way too many stickers. I'm going to go ahead and put together the Hulkbuster Smash-Up, and today this is going to be a 60-second speed build. And here's the completed build. This took 40 minutes to put together, which is considerably less than the 3 hours it took to put together the Ultron Edition Hulkbuster. Overall, it's a good looking set and should have decent play value with 4 minifigures, the Hulkbuster, and that turret gun. I'm going to start out by having a close-up look at the Hulkbuster, then we'll demonstrate that turret gun, and we'll finish up with a look at the minifigures. This is the Mark 44 Iron Man suit, better known as the Hulkbuster, and I've left its co-inventor Bruce Banner in shot so you can get a sense of scale. Even though this is only 5 inches tall, it's an imposing mech, and it definitely bears a very good resemblance to the actual Hulkbuster, despite the low part count and relatively low price of the set. In particular, I really like the custom printed domed headpiece. To load a minifigure inside, we simply flip back the head and open up the chest panel. As you've probably noticed, there's a mechanism inside. We're going to come back to that very shortly. There's also a blue transparent tile representing the arc reactor. This looks like a very tight fit, but let's go ahead and see if we can put the minifigure inside. First of all, you'll notice there's a stand at the bottom to hold the minifigure's legs, and then we simply fold in the panels around the minifig. And now Bruce Banner is nowhere to be seen. This mech definitely passes the minifigure test with flying colours. From the back, the Hulkbuster looks a lot less impressive. Most of the detail was applied to the front of the build, and I guess this helps a little bit to keep the price down. But the most notable feature on the back of the Hulkbuster is that large blue appendage. This controls one of the interactive features. By turning the knob on the back, we transfer energy through the mechanism you saw inside and make the the arms swing backwards and forwards. It's good symmetry that both arms have the same gearing in the shoulders, but only the right arm is mechanized. The only downside of that mechanism means that you can't pose the right arm in front or behind the mech. As you can see here, the left arm is held firmly by the ball joint, but the right arm hangs loosely down at the Hulkbuster's side. You can, however, pose both arms out at the side, so if you want to recreate that scene from the Titanic with the Hulkbuster, you can go ahead. As well as the shoulder joint, each arm has articulation at the wrist, there's some sticker detailing on the side and on the inside, and there's some really nice gold detailing which gets a big thumbs up from me and from the Hulkbuster. We don't get a jackhammer attachment like we did with the Ultron Edition Hulkbuster, but we do get 3 fingers and an opposable thumb, which should in theory mean he can grab minifigures. And not liking to be proved wrong, here's the Hulkbuster demonstrating that impressive grip. The legs are also articulated. This allows you to flex the legs outwards, which looks more than a little bit ridiculous. He looks like a toddler having a tantrum. The ankle joints are also articulated with ball joints, which gives you a full range of motion. Although if you flex those feet too much, he does have a tendency to fall over. From the side, the Hulkbuster does look a little bit clumsy and top heavy. Those legs definitely do hang towards the front of the body, a lot more so than you would see in the Ultron Edition. And overall, the legs have a much more clunky and clumsy appearance than its bigger brother. Speaking of which, I think it's time to bring out the big guy. As you might expect, there's a big size difference between the standard Hulkbuster and the Ultron Edition, and if I was that Mark 43 Iron Man minifigure, I would feel really intimidated. Whilst the smaller Hulkbuster from this set doesn't look nearly as impressive, he's considerably cheaper. In fact, you could buy 4 of these Hulkbuster sets for the price of the Ultron Edition, and the smaller Hulkbuster is probably going to stand up to a little bit more play action. Speaking of play action, let's take a look at that gun. Here is the turret gun, which stands about 3 inches tall and includes a seat for Proxima Midnight. But for me, the most impressive thing about this gun is the ball shooter at the front. These used to be used quite extensively in the Bionicle range, and I think the last time I saw one of these was on one of the Ninjago Dragons. So it's super cool to have one in this set, and I definitely think this warrants a demonstration. To fire the gun, we simply squeeze on the sides here, and we get quite an impressive shooting action. The challenge now is to find the ball again so we can demonstrate it in slow motion. There is another action feature, and for this we're going to need the Hulkbuster. So what we've got here is a really nice design feature. This allows the Hulkbuster to break the gun. The barrel of the gun is mounted on a pivot, and there are a couple of studs at the back which hold the gun in place until the Hulkbuster comes along. Apart from the obvious interactive features, LEGO have done a pretty good job of making this a decorative build. There is of course some sticker detail, but we also get some really attractive transparent purple pieces and some gold elements. I did mention there was a secret compartment on the gun, and if we look at the rear, there is a transparent door. This opens up to reveal the Infinity Stone. To be perfectly honest, the Infinity Stone isn't that impressive, and it really does need that gold stand. But when you collect all of these can be attached to the gauntlet of Thanos, giving him ultimate power. Rather than just giving you one Infinity Stone, LEGO actually gives you 4 on a piece of plastic so you can break them off. I suppose the nice feature here is that you could team up with some friends and get different sets and then swap the Infinity Stone, so it would make it easier to fill in the holes on Thanos' gauntlet. So that was the Hulkbuster and the turret gun, but let's take a closer look at those minifigures before we wrap up. So this set contains 4 minifigures, each wearing matching black pants. From left to right, we've got the very cool looking Bruce Banner, Falcon, Proxima Midnight, and an Outrider. Bruce Banner is of course a physicist who gets zapped by gamma rays and becomes the Incredible Hulk. He's not a very elaborate minifigure, but looks very cool in this jacket and t-shirt. On the rear, we've got a little bit of printed detail, and I really like that hairpiece. The main expression is crisply printed, but it's the secondary expression that I like most. Here you can see the snarl and the green eyes as he's about to turn into the Incredible Hulk. So while he's not a very elaborately printed minifigure, he's a perfectly good Bruce Banner. Next up, we've got Falcon, a former US Air Force pararescue airman who retired from active duty and ended up joining the Avengers. Just like Buzz Lightyear, he has an impressive wingspan, although this does look slightly clunky when it's on the back of a minifigure. I do like the orange flame detail at the back and those custom red tile pieces which I recognise from the Ultron Edition Hulkbuster. Again, there's nothing special on the legs with this minifigure, but we do have some nice printing on the torso, and I really like that facial expression with the goggles. Turning to the back, we've got more detail, detail with what looks like body armor and some metallic printed accents. And finally, if we remove that hairpiece, there's a very confident secondary expression on the back. This is Proxima Midnight, which is a character I'm not familiar with, but apparently she's a member of Thanos' Black Order. Like the other characters, she's wearing plain black pants, but it is interesting that she's got one gold arm. That gold printing continues onto the front of the torso, and if we turn her around, we've also got the same printing on the back. That blue hairpiece is something else, and I really like the way the horns are molded into it. It also looks super cool from the back with all of that flowing blue hair. There is a secondary expression, and on this one she's looking much more devious. So that is the very cool Proxima Midnight. And finally, we've got an Outrider. Outriders are a race of genetically engineered humanoid creatures with the purpose of serving their maker, in this case Thanos, until they die. These guys also have a heck of a lot of arms, and they seem to buy their pants from the same shop that everybody else gets them. There is some super nice metallic detailing on the front of the torso, and it almost looks like gold muscles under torn skin. I don't know how to begin to describe the face. It looks like there's a large mouth in the middle, but no evidence of any eyes. We've got more detailed printing on the back of the torso, and with the arms replaced, you can see how we've got this kind of cradle that hangs on the back of the neck with some arm pieces. And finally, there's some more metallic detailing on the back of the head. And that, my friends, is an Outrider. So that was set number 7610 for the Hulkbuster Smash-Up from LEGO Marvel Superheroes. While this might not be able to match the scale of the Ultron Edition Hulkbuster, I really think LEGO have done a great job here with a relatively low budget set. The Hulkbuster is a little bit clunky, but it looks the part, and I really like the way the minifigure fits inside. The turret gun adds a great deal of play value, and I really like the ball shooter. The breakaway function of the barrel was also a nice touch. I think probably the weakest part of this set is the minifigures. Yes, it's great to get 4 minifigures, but they weren't the best minifigures in the world. It would have been nice for 1 or 2 of them to have printed legs rather than the plain black legs that we got. So overall, I think this is a very fun set. I think it's been pretty well designed, and I think it's good value for money. As always, I really hope you enjoyed this unboxing, speed build and review video. If you did, please don't forget to hit the like button, and if you've not already done so, subscribe for more awesome LEGO content. I make videos like this twice every week, so you'll always find something new or something old to enjoy on my channel. Thanks a million for checking out my content, stay safe, and we'll see you on the next build video.